Here we go. We are now going to see problems that look quite gross. And by gross, I mean that they have squares in them. Not the shape, but instead, what is this? Instead, they have this look to them. Ugh. Have we solved problems before where it was x squared and we have to give x equals? Yeah. No. You factor them though, right? So let's try that. Usually everything's on one side, right? So we'll move everything to one side. And then can we factor this? What, two numbers multiply to make negative 18? You can close your computer. And add to make negative 3. 6 and 3, right? So we have x minus 6, x plus 3. So x equals 6 and negative 3. Now, I made one huge jump. Did you guys see it? Yes. I jumped from this factored step to the answer. And that is the new piece of information for you guys today. How do I get from here to here? Why can I say that x equals 6? Well, watch this. Anything times 0 is what? So, if I plug in 6 here, 6 minus 6 is 0 times 6 minus 3 is some number. Does that equal 0? No. 0 times 3 is 0. That works. Let's try plugging in negative 3. This equals what? Not a trick question. 0. Why? Because if this is 0, I don't care what I multiply by, that will always equal 0. Yes? Yes. So, how did I get from here to here? Well, I said what x will make this 0? And that x is 6. What x will make this 0? And that is negative 3. If you have to write out this step, that's fine. You could do x minus 6 equals 0, x equals 6, and then x plus 3 equals 0, so x equals negative 3. That's fine. But alas, they are equal. Now, there are some dangers. And some dangers include this. You may be tempted to do this with a number over here that is not 0. Don't do it. You know who you are. Don't do it. This is wrong. You look at this and you go, oh, I can factor that. And then you go, well, x equals 4. And x equals 7. Is that right? No, there's no way that's right. But we got there, which means that one of you will do this exact thing. It's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. And when it happens, I'm going to go, what? You did it. And then you're going to be scared. And then you're going to jump like Daniel did in his seat. It was really funny. Okay? The idea is this. This only works when you are equal to 0. If you're equal to any other number, it doesn't work. Why? Well, if I plug in 4 here, I have 4 times 1. That actually does work. If I plug in 7, though, 7 times 4 is 28. That doesn't equal 4. So you have to be very, very careful that when you are doing this, and you are solving quadratic equations, which is when you have the x squared, when you're solving these, you have to set them equal to what? 0. So let's actually solve this example now. What's my first step, Evan? Set it equal to 0 by subtracting 4. So I have x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0. What two numbers multiply to make negative 4 and add to make negative 3? Negative 4 and positive 1. So then x minus 4 equals 0, or x plus 1 equals 0. So x equals 4 and x equals negative 1. Those are the correct solutions. Okay, let's try another one. So it must always be equal to 0. This is 88 problem, or example 2. Okay, first step, everybody, set it equal to 0. So I'm going to add 25 to both sides. And can I factor this?
Yeah.
Well, what does this look like to you? Do you see it? I see it.
You have to.
What is it? We have 0 equals negative 4x squared plus 25. Aww. Daniel's playing with something. So 25 is what? 5 squared, and 4x squared is 2x squared. So we have a difference of
2. 1.
difference of squares. Oh dear. Who said 3? 5 minus 2x, you can't do that. They're not even like terms. It's like, how much money do you have? $5. How many apples do you have? 2. Okay, give me $3.
But there could be a sale.
What? That doesn't make sense.
There could be a sale like
10. So, now we're going to factor. So, I have 5 squared minus the whole thing 2x squared. So, I'm going to write 5 minus 2x times 5 plus 2x. That's our difference of squares formula. Now, I'm going to take each one of those and set that equal to 0 because we have 0 on the other side. Does it work if there's a different number here? No, you will fail. So it must be equal to 0. So we have 5 minus 2x equals 0, and 5 plus 2x equals 0. What does x equal here? Everybody?
3. 0. 3.
So if I plug in 3 here, 5 minus 6 is 0.
2.5. What? Wait, is that one wrong?
I don't accept decimals. Solve it out. Come on, guys. You know how to solve that. That is very basic. Move things to the other side. 5 minus 2x equals 0. You can do it. Get the x on its own side. Move everything else to the other side. Are you writing? You're not writing. How can you get the answer? How will you find it? We'll do it in our heads. That's right. That's a good solution. I'll do everything in my head. And then I will show no work. And then I'll get no credit. Nope, that doesn't sound like a good solution, after all. I don't know. Why is the blind salt real? I don't know. The answer is, everybody?
2.5.
I know it's not accepting a decimal. I already told you that.
That's 3 and 7.
So as 2.5 is most definitely a decimal. Try again. What's the answer?
2.5.
Still a decimal.
No, it would be.
I don't accept these numbers either.
Mr. Blandia.
Oh. Okay. What's the answer, everybody?
5.
So your answer should be x equals. I failed as a chemistry teacher. I've also failed as a chemistry teacher. The answer is
5.
show your work. That's right. So, how do you solve for x? Everybody. Everybody. How do you solve for x in this equation? You get x on one side, move the numbers away.
5 from both sides.
Subtract 5 from both sides. Negative 2x equals negative 5. How do you want to do multiplication? Divide. Are you bothered that it's a fraction? Don't be. It's 5/2. That's it. Solve the other one. Go. No, Evan chose not to listen to instruction, and he got it wrong. That's it. It's actually not that difficult. What does the Bible say about someone who rejects correction? Well, it does say that. I wasn't even calling him. Evan, what did you get?
Negative 5/2.
That is correct. Thank you for using a fraction instead of a mixed number, decimal, repeating fraction, quadratic, or anything else. I appreciate it. You got this, right? Did you meet with Emma?
What?
Did you meet with Emma? Oh, you only have 1 day left. That's like urgent. Okay, so here, what am I going to do? First step, Stowe.
Subtract 5 from both
Okay,
sides.
so I'm left with 2x equals -5. Sunny, next step, how do I undo multiplication? Divide by?
2.
What's my answer, Riley?
Negative 5/2.
That's correct. Excellent. Much like the treat you enjoy on Resurrection Sunday.
Nice. Cadbury eggs.
Huh?
Cadbury.
Cadbury eggs are very good. It's chocolate. Okay, let's continue practicing. Alright, example 3. We have x minus 56 equals -x squared. First step. Sierra. Set it equal to 0. So I'm going to move the x squared away. That's the easiest way for me to get 0. How do I do that, Kara? Add x squared to both sides. Excellent. So I have excellent. This, how do I factor that? Evan?
You
You're like exclaimed here. It's still Evan. I called him. That's it. It's over. Nobody else in the whole classroom is responsible for the answer. It's just Evan.
that would be x minus 5 and x plus 6.
X minus 7, x plus 8 is correct. Because 8 minus 7 is 1, and 7 times 8 is 56. 5 does not go into 56. So, many of you lost points on your exam because you didn't show work on these. How could I show work? I'm going to write out the things that multiply to make 56. It would be 56 times 1, 8 times 7, and that's it. Write those out, see which one gives you 1. Go from there. If you need to move closer, there's a spot right there. Yes? Or you could wear your glasses so you can actually see. Yes?
So when you're adding...
Belinda is very matter of fact today. It's like, you notice that? I notice that. What's up?
So when you're adding the x squared to the x, wouldn't that make it x cubed?
Nope. You're not multiplying. You're adding. They're not like terms. Because they don't have the same combination of letters. I just lined them up. Good question, though.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was no other room. All right, what's the answer? First answer? So notice here how it's always the opposite of that number. So it would be x equals 7 and -8. Both of you did that at once. That was pretty cool. All right, next one. We have yet another example. We have 3x squared minus 6x equals 9. This one's a little bit trickier. One tip that you could use is you can divide the whole thing by a number. If you divide each term by it. Go ahead, solve. I will not do everything for you. Raise your hand once you have an answer. I will check and see if it's correct. If you are correct, you may move on to the homework time. first hand raised. Your hand is raised.
No, my hand's
It's
not.
above your shoulder. By definition, it is raised.
If I put it below the chair, is that unraised?
That is unraised. Do you have your answer typed?
No, I'm confused.
Okay,
I divided
so-
the equation, but now I'm left with x squared minus 2x equals 3.
So then your first step, you need it equal to 0,
Oh.
and then you factor. Factor. Good question. What's up? Got it? I don't know if that's right or not. I guess I should have probably figured it out on my own now. That would be helpful. Oh look, the book figured it out for me. How lovely. You didn't show your work on the factoring part, so I can't accept it. Writing the numbers to the side. Step 1, move everything over to one side, so it's equal to 0. Step 2, factor. You guys have been factoring, that's correct. You may move on. And then you may move on. So those aren't like terms. So you would actually want to move the 9 over so you have 0.
Oh.
But 9 doesn't have x in it. Add 6x to it. They stay separate. You look very wise with your glasses. Adds to your elected ability. Okay, let's go over it as a class. The official way to do this would be to subtract 9 from both sides. So you get 3x squared minus 6x minus 9 equals 0. All three of these have 3 in common, so you can simply factor it out instead of dividing. Either way works. Then, what two numbers multiply to make -3 and add to make -2? If you don't know, start writing them out. So -3 times 1, 3 times -1. Which one adds to make -2? The first one. Am I concerned about the 3 in front?
No.
No. So I have 3 times x minus 3 times x minus 1. I'm still just going to take each chunk or each factor and set it equal to 0. So x minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3, x minus 1 equals 0, x equals 1. I'm done. If you have extra time at the end of the test, which I know we all do, that was good. Plug in these numbers and check. 3 times 1 minus 6. That's wrong. It should be plus 1. That should be 3 times -1. I'm glad we checked. So plug in your number. 3 times 1 is 3. Minus or plus 6 would be 9. Right? So you can plug in these values and check to make sure they work. If I plug in 3, 3 times 9 is 27. Minus 18 is 9. So there we go. You may begin on